The most accurate character of the movie was the burger. The burger that the truck driver had.
I thought you was gonna say the dog.
Alright, guys. We just got back from seeing Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. What are our thoughts?
It was a movie.
It was a movie. Oh my god.
I'm just because I'm pretty sure my opinion, like as I was telling Matthew at the theater, it's probably a little bit different than y'all. Because like, I didn't expect too much, but I didn't go in having expectations either. And so, I low-key enjoyed like what I saw. Because it's basically just, as I was saying, it was just the game, but like live action on screen. Besides like a few things, which we talk about like further on that they missed out.
Oh yeah, by the way, we will be doing a non-spoiler section and a spoiler section, as most reviews do. And by the way, let's hit some channel business first. We are 2 weeks out from the end of the year and our end of year celebration. Back to form like in 2018, which we haven't done since 2018. And we are getting very close to our subscriber goal. At the time of recording this, we are at 486, which is fantastic. I'm really excited. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Look, we are really close. I know you want to see maybe this guy, not Jawan though, we already know, suffer at the hands of the Blazing Wing Challenge. And also we want, what? I don't think he knew he was included maybe, but he might be included. We'll see if we hit 500 subscribers. Anyway, I have in my hands the script for Best Served Cold, which we will be shooting very soon. They're whispering something, I don't know what it is, but the mic might have caught it. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, we have the script for Best Served Cold. We're shooting this very soon, so be on the lookout for that. Anyway, let's get back to the review.
I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a little bit of horror, some action. I didn't think it was as funny as y'all, but Yeshai was kind of like, he was. If the theater was packed, people would be staring at you. That's how like our
He had a good time. That's
Look,
for sure.
Look, this movie was not supposed to be as funny as it was, and when we get spoilers, I'll talk about the really funny moments. I don't normally do this, but I actually took notes about things in the movie, and I'll stop right around here. You'll see what I took notes of, and oh my god, the non-spoiler, they say fuck a lot. Like, it's a real fuckapalooza. Like, at any given time, it's just, they were dropping it. I'm like, what is happening? It's an R-rated movie, but come on.
Every third word.
Every third word. Characterization in this movie was hilarious, to say the least, especially considering the source material. Like, me and all three of us, Jawan less so, have all like played Resident Evil a fair bit, and me and Matthew have been going back and forth for years about Resident Evil related things, and oh my god, the characters in this movie, almost every single person was a meme.
A lot of the characters were, in general, just kind of miscast. Particularly Leon, though. I think by far, they really butchered that character.
Oh my god. Leon.
Oh no, I had that thing for a second, because I was like, Wesker was okay.
Sort of.
I didn't hate Wesker, but they difference.
Chris, he was cool. Chris is a big dude, but the actor was a little bit too small to play Chris. Chris got them.
He has the big but Chris at that time didn't have the big muscles yet. That's more like Resident Evil 5 where he's boulder punching. But you know what? These movies are somehow successful. Maybe we'll get there. Yeah, exactly. But miscast a lot. Leon, definitely miscast. I don't know. How did you guys feel about Jill? I was like on the fence about her.
Everybody was just okay.
Yeah.
Like, nobody did anything super spectacular here. I don't even think that the actor for Leon was terrible. Just
terribly written.
Terribly written indeed. And that kind of seems to be the problem with a lot of this movie.
Yeah, really weird writing.
No development for characters, really.
Yeah, you know what? in my humble opinion, I was having a conversation about this before we got here. To me, the most accurate character in the movie, was the burger. The burger that the truck driver had.
I thought you was gonna say the dog.
The dog, no, but like that burger, that was like spot on recreation of the burger from Resident Evil 2. I went in expecting it to be terrible, but it was hilariously bad. But that is a good thing. Too bad I'm making this review as showings are pretty much over for the movie. But if and when you have the chance to see this movie, I should say, see this movie just so you can have a good laugh, and then think about watching a better movie after. That's how I feel.
So I have a slightly different take from that, because this is actually my second viewing. I got started into watching this movie twice.
I'm sorry.
The first time I saw this movie was unenjoyable for the most part. It takes a lot for me to actually not enjoy a movie. The second time though, knowing everything that was going to happen, I was able to turn my brain off even more than I did the first time, and it actually looped back to being slightly enjoyable, if that makes any sense. So, if you're drunk, this movie's probably great.
As Jeremy Johns would say, it's a better time if you're drunk. But he actually gave this movie a T-minus, wouldn't remember it in T-minus 1 day. That's how he described this movie. I say differently, because I'm going to be thinking about this movie a lot, and the things that I saw. What about you?
No, I said it's definitely on the forgettable side, because not much really happened. Like stuff happened, but the movie wasn't as crazy as the original. Well, our original live action version of Resident Evil. I can sit here remembering like that all day in the middle of the desert. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Although, I don't know. Maybe one day we'll look at this in the future and be like, oh yeah, those were some memorable moments.
Once they
Maybe.
finish the series,
I
probably.
don't think we're going to get memorable moments out of this.
I think-
However, I will say that they have a lot of callbacks to the actual movie, to the games themselves.
Oh yeah, definitely. Reference City in this movie.
Not all of them are good, but they are there for fans.
And we'll talk about some of the references in the spoiler section, because oh my god, they really hammer them at you. Yeah, you can't. Honestly, you can't talk about this movie that much without talking about spoilers. So we'll just jump into a rating. Juwan?
What type of scale? Any scale?
You know what? One day, if we're really doing these more, we'll come up with our own scale. But for now, we'll just start with 1 to 10. I guess we'll keep it simple, but one day we'll come up with something funny.
4 fishes. 4.
4.
4
We gave it a
fishes.
4.
4 out of 10.
4 out of 10. Movie was slightly below average. Doesn't do anything great. Doesn't do anything terribly bad. Just 4.
5, maybe a 6. Would I watch it again? Maybe. No. But I didn't hate what I saw. It was okay.
Yeah. Going into it thinking that it was an abomination, I think I'm going to give this a 5. I'm going to give it a solid 5 with the caveat that honestly you might need to be drunk. Honestly, no, you don't need, I'll take that back. You don't need to be drunk to enjoy this movie, because frankly, it'll give you a big laugh. Frankly, it's 5 and hilarious. A hilarious 5. That's what I'll give it. So, before we go into spoilers section, I want to say, if you haven't checked out a previous video where I go over a review of the lens we're actually using right now, the Fujifilm 16-80, give that a check it out. That didn't make sense, but check it out anyway. Boy oh boy, did I give that lens a real pounding, because it's pretty inconsistent. I can't see what it's doing from here right now, and I hope to God the autofocus is doing what it's supposed to.
It's not.
I surely hope so. I hope he's wrong. Anyway, on to the spoilers section. So, spoilers section. Okay, let's start from the top. So the movie opens, Claire and Chris in an orphanage. This is already a weird story choice for the movie.
I don't think they were orphans, but I think their parents did die at some point.
And then you get Lisa Trevor from the first game, just creeping about. That whole opening, I was just thinking, what is this movie? Let's consult the notes. And this is where it already is resembling the game, and I talked about the very accurate burger. So you get Claire hitchhiking back to Raccoon City. Oh wait, you know what? The title card where they talk about so the only people left in Raccoon City are the poor people, which is a major deviation from the game because it's just like Umbrella Corp is just built into Raccoon City, but no, and then in the movie it's like nope, Umbrella Corp. We're just gonna jump ahead a little bit. Is just casually poisoning Raccoon City. Like what? And then they just pack up shop and leave. Weird.
As you do.
As you do. Claire, hitchhiking with the truck driver. You see the world's most accurate game to real life transition of a burger. I won't get over that because if you played Resident Evil 2, the remake, that burger looked so delectable, and then the burger in the movie. Ooh. Woo. So yeah, they're just having a conversation, standard fare, and then out of nowhere, just sexual assault, just reaching for the hand, reaching for the thigh, and then the truck driver hits a zombie, and that zombie skids forever.
Well, they don't know it's a zombie at first.
They don't know it's a zombie. They think it's a person.
And then, as they get out of the truck they kind of have a little bit of an argument about what they should do with the body. Should they leave it? They need to report it. The zombie just gets up and it shambles into the woods. And this isn't the only zombie that's going to do anything for dramatic flair. That happens all the time in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
But this is the most egregious because it doesn't attack them. It just gets up and leaves, exits stage right.
For the rest of the film, no less.
Right. So one thing about when I was watching, I found weird, which I'm pretty sure we're probably gonna get a deeper backstory, like what happened after when she apparently before she came back to Raccoon City, because she was very calm. She was like, "Hey, we gotta hide this body." And then y'all realize that she wasn't shook at all. She was like, "Hey, you got something in the truck? Let's hide this body." She was ready. She was too prepared.
We get some hints about that Claire may have had a rough time going. Because she also, Leon directly asked her, hey, how do you learn how to use this gun? And she's like, yeah, you learn how to take care of yourself pretty quick.
Even her.
So.
Just to skip ahead a little bit, like a scene earlier when she got into her brother's house, where I guess their old house, he was like, how did you pick a deadbolt?
How'd you pick this deadbolt with a knife? What? Okay, we're jumping ahead of ourselves. So then, the truck driver's dog, starts just licking the blood off the zombie, which is really weird. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think a dog would just casually start licking blood off the ground. And then, of course, the dog starts exhibiting transformation symptoms. And then it bites the truck driver. That's a plot point that comes back later, obviously. And then from there, that's when we get Claire coming back into town. And then she meets up with Chris. And then that's when we get what was just mentioned with her picking a deadbolt.
Wait, before we get to that, because you remember before she even does that, she sees the kid with the little three fingers.
Yes! Oh my god!
3 fingers and no hair.
And then as she's pulling up to Chris's house, you see this weird ass bald kid looking like something at a wrong turn. What? What is this movie? And then the mother mutant thing stands above him. It's like, what you doing here? Closes the blinds.
How has Chris never seen these people?
They probably were normal before, but so they're having a conversation. Then we cut away, and then we get the character introductions to the STARS team. So you get Chris, Jill, Richard.
They say his name.
They say his name exactly one time as he's dying. Spoiler alert, or in spoiler sections or whatever. And then Leon. So then he's at the diner asleep, and then they're just teasing him. And then that's when we get our character introduction. So Jill seems like the only competent one, sort of.
I thought she was too emotional.
Yeah, for Jill.
Yeah, she was too emotional.
And then you get dude bro, absolute dude bro, Albert Wesker. What? That's just one of the many miscasting, weird decisions in this movie. Wesker in the games is this mysterious dude.
Calm, calculated.
Right.
This guy is not that.
I think
it's a dramatically different take for Wesker.
I feel like he's just gonna become that over time. That's just like like when movies they adapt from games, they gotta find a way to
transition that
Yeah.
character. I guess, but it was really weird to see because like in the games he starts as like the mysterious, cold, calculated guy, and in this game he's like weird frat boy dude, bro. I'm like, this is weird.
Yeah.
And then you get this funny backstory. Well, funny backstory that Leon is a transfer cop from another department because he shot his partner in the ass.
In training.
In training, the diner waitress like just casually bleeds from the eye, and Leon's like, "What's that? You should get that checked out." And then
That
it was so weird.
That just happens.
It just happens. And she just says, "That just happens." You would get that checked out? Yeah, maybe. What?
health insurance is expensive.
Health insurance is expensive, and it's only $19.98. Oh my god. Oh, something funny I noticed with the movie. So the Resident Evil movies are distributed by Sony, and there's this Sony product placement everywhere. But it's since the movie's set in '98, it's all old Sony stuff. I just thought that was really funny. You see like old Sony headphones, old Sony nonsense, whatever. Like, oh my god. You get this almost like purge. I mean, it's like not exactly a purge alarm, but like the honest like air raid siren.
Definitely like a
Air raid.
like I say purge because like they're like stay inside.
Yeah. So you get this like purge alarm going off, and then that is when everything starts popping off. Like not before, after.
Yeah.
And that's when
Chris left to go to work.
that leads into first off, a really interesting, what I found and what many people find to be an interesting piece of lore from the first game. Itchy for tasty. If you know it, you know it. Wasted immediately by just the random mutant lady from next door just writing on the door, blood writing. That's a pretty important piece of lore from the first game, gone and wasted. On what? A jump scare?
I think it was on. I've seen it a couple times throughout the movie. I've seen it like I think 2 other times.
In the what?
Yeah. So I'm trying to remember, because it was on the glass door, of course. Then it was on the wall again. It was another time in the movie. I did see it another time in the movie, because I said it like under my breath.
Mm.
I missed it.
But yeah, and then that's when she gets attacked for the first time. How does she even get away from that? She just threw her off.
Yeah, she just knocks it off. Also, the kid runs in the house and they talk, and it almost seems like the kid might be important, and then Mia would just get shot.
Right.
She knocks the mother out of there, and then she just abandons the kid in there, takes the bike, and dips.
I was very confused about that, because the mother didn't seem like she was going to attack originally, right? Then the kid broke through the front door, and she was looking for the kid. You're thinking, oh, she's going to get attacked. You knew it was coming.
Of course.
And then all of a sudden, she looks under the table, the kid's there. She was like, do you need help? And he's like, no, you do. And burst through the glass door. Creatures are really good. It was kind of scary. I ain't gonna front. Like,
You thought they were scary?
They behaved kind of. I thought because it seemed. I didn't like Wrong Turn, because Wrong Turn people, I don't know, they had a lot of weird mannerisms that bothered me, and like they had similar mannerisms. It was like,
I don't know. I thought, for one thing, the creature design was bad. Like, the zombie design was bad, especially, like, when you consider the source material of the games.
we didn't get to see the actual, like, because we just seen the first stage. Because most of the time we seen zombies, it was kind of in the dark. We didn't really get it, like, a good, like, up and close with most of the zombies that, like, were further transition. Cause, at the gate of the, we seen, like,
As much as
the hairless, the hairless zombies. Then you had some that were a little bit deformed that we really didn't get to fully, like, see.
Yeah. And then that leads back into the plot point of Umbrella just casually poisoning the town.
They don't ever explain what for either.
Yeah, I'm like,
Their motives are completely unsure.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure it was just like kind of like an accident type situation.
Maybe.
I don't know.
They never tell us like if it's an accident. They said the crazy theorist that Claire was talking to, he brings up like he only explains that the T and the G virus were to make weapons, which you already know if you're a fan. But they never say like how the outbreak starts, why it started, if this was intentional or an accident. They tell Birkin though, But that conversation is muted, and you only see his face, and there's no explanation.
Right. And I don't know about you guys, but when they showed that clip of Sherry waking up, like that, they cut to Sherry waking up, I thought it was a flashback of Claire, because that kid looks damn near the same. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, a flashback? And then you see Birkin, and I'm like, oh, okay, I thought she wasn't raised by him. And then it goes on further, and I'm like, oh, okay, you could have cleared that up, especially given that those kids look damn near the same. And especially because Sherry in the games is blonde.
And then
like,
this one's brown hair.
Yeah, so that could have helped clear that up, especially given that Birkin is blonde in the movie. Oh, the decisions made. So yeah, and at that point, you start seeing the zombies pull up, and then we get the moment that made me burst out laughing in the theater. Oh my god. Okay. So, we're probably going to miss some stuff, by the way. I mean, so then we get the moment. Oh my god, these two looked at me like I was crazy the way I was laughing at this, and I was laughing so hard. The truck driver who's zombified now, because he was bitten by his zombie dog some time ago, but who cares when, is just barreling through the town, past Claire, and then he just sees the Raccoon City Police Department. He's like, oh, okay. And he just drives and just, boom, crashes. The doors to the RPD are just wide open for anybody to walk in. And Leon is asleep at the front counter with headphones on. He's listening to a song. I don't even know the song, but it's some like pop song from the late 90s. And then the truck crashes and explodes. It explodes in the front of the open door of the station, and Leon sleeps through it. And it doesn't stop there, because I look over at Matthew. I'm like, what? Did you just see that? And then the zombified truck driver walks through the door on fire. And it's at this point I lose it. I'm laughing in the theater like so hard. And it's like there were a few people in the theater. I didn't even care if anybody like looked over at me. And they're both looking at me. He's like reacting how he's just like, oh. But I couldn't stop myself because it was hilarious. Oh my god. It was just, and that's when I knew this movie was a comedy. Like truly a comedy. That moment was everything for me. And like if you play the games, we're gonna draw a comparison to the game a lot. If you've played the games, you know that like Chief Irons is like really like tough character, and he's more like serious. In this movie, he's played by Donald Logue, and he's like played for a total meme. Like, yeah. Like everything that he did was a meme, because he's like telling Leon, "All right, you're in charge now. Bye." And then he leaves, and as he's trying to leave town, he's in his car, he watches a bunch of people get gunned down. He's like, oh my god, I'm out. Bye. And then he goes back to the station. And then he comes back to the station and gets attacked by a zombie dog and then be saved by Claire. And then you get another genius moment from Leon.
After the zombie dog has been killed by Claire, who beat it over its head with a fire extinguisher. Leon busts through the door, gun aimed straight at probably nothing, and it's just screaming, drop your gun, hands in the air! And Claire and Chief Irons just look at him like he's an idiot, and everybody in the audience looks at him like an idiot.
And it's one of the many moments in this movie where Leon makes some genius decisions. Like, God, I can't believe they just ruined Leon like that. Like, it's mind-blowing to me.
Wesker and Chris and Richard go the other way.
I'm surprised you remember his name.
Wait, well, this is like nitpicky and important. I don't think Chris wanted to split up because he was kind of like...
No, he definitely did, because he's like, what? He's like, Wesker says, let's split up, and Chris is like, straight up, like, immediately, what?
No, but Wesker convinces him because it's like, I just want to get out of here a lot quicker. So they do split up. And then we follow Chris and Richard where they find the iconic zombie from the first game that does the head turn back towards the audience.
I don't know about you, but I thought it, like, they messed it up. something about it just looked off from what it should have been.
See, that's where I disagree. I think that was probably the best looking zombie in the whole thing.
In the whole movie.
Which they really needed to do right. I think they did. But he was very white.
It's too white and shiny and like slippery.
Right. Which I think, I'm just going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I think that's more of a homage to the game, because in the games, I think he did look way more out of place than the background.
I was just gonna say, it's really crazy. Like, the other dude got surrounded, he died, right?
Immediately.
And how did he survive?
Because this man punches boulders.
Right, Chris is famous for punching boulders.
So I guess this is the closest we had to a strength feat from Chris. He was able to hold off like 3 zombies on him.
Right, they were
and
coming.
survive.
Like,
Yeah.
He,
And something that is funny to me, so one thing, a detail that we didn't talk about is that there was whole movies being time-stamped. And that's important, because the whole movie's being time-stamped from I think
it started
it's like 10
12.
p.m.
It starts at 11.
Yeah, like 11 or 10 at night to end at 6 in the morning when the nuke goes off. And it's like at 1 in the morning or something when they timestamp Chris getting attacked.
It was a big time.
And then we don't see him again
So,
for in movie time till again at 2, 3:30 or something in the morning.
No, it's like 4.
Yeah.
Like, he's just fighting.
That dude is.
We guess he's fighting zombies for 3 hours, or maybe he's just walking around for 2 hours without finding anybody else.
Right.
We don't. He's just gone forever.
And at that time, we do get a. Now, Matt said the sequence was when he first saw it, he said the sequence was stupid, but I honestly thought it was good. With the scene is completely dark, and the only source of light is Chris shooting stuff.
Okay, gun.
It's an interesting, but you can't really see what's going on.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of. It's like a stop motion kind of thing where it's like you get a frame and then it's black screen, and then you get another frame of something.
Yeah, that's why I kept saying I only get opportunities to really see their zombies. We really didn't get, because most of the time they were up close and personal.
Yeah.
It was dark.
But
I thought it was actually a good
No,
sequence.
it was really cool. I thought so, especially when he used the lighter too, and that whole little scene, it was a little stupid, but just the.
Okay, when it got to the lighter, that was when it got stupid. When he's fighting tooth and nail, stabbing shit, shooting guys, I'm just okay, that's cool. And you get to the lighter with the jump scare dicks, and I'm just
I think
really?
I would have liked it just a little bit more if they had the light on for just a little bit longer, so you could actually admire
The zombie.
the zombies.
Well, the zombie was the cop, by the way. One of his cops.
One of the other cops, the other throwaway cop.
when
Right.
it's happening.
The whole time he's sitting there, and
Brother better get the snap.
dude was dead 10 times over.
I realize something. We're kind of skipping around by accident, because as I said, there's not a lot that happens. What I feel story wise, but there's still
There's stuff.
it's so sporadic in a sense, because we forgot to talk about Wesker and the whole situation
Yeah.
with the piano.
Right. Okay. So when we mentioned earlier, and this is just insane to me. So Wesker straight up pulls out this PDA with a map of the mansion, and Jill's just like, "What's that?" And it's you don't want to push that point any further. Why does he just know where to go?
And then he literally says, "I'll tell you."
I'll tell you about it later.
And then later never comes. She
Right.
never asks about it again either.
Because then, at some point, the chopper pilot, Brad Vickers, of course, the cop-out loser from the first game who appears in the third game, in this movie will not get who in this franchise will not get another appearance.
Everybody's so clueless in what I read.
Right. At what point would you guys say this just dove into insanity?
It's really kind of been insane, bro.
Yeah.
Probably the on fire zombie.
Yeah.
I think that's when it.
Oh my
hits
god!
the limit.
You know what? The casual just secret entrance, a secret entrance in the orphanage playroom. What?
Yeah, that sounds so bad.
They kind of alluded that from jump, kind of.
Yeah. But I was that would have been even weirder if it was just in the playhouse. You just crawl through the playhouse. Oh, I'm
Honestly,
in
that's
the
what
secret tunnel.
I thought it was.
That's what I thought too.
Because she, in the beginning when they show, you know the name, I can't think of the
Lisa
name.
Trevor.
Yeah, she just disappeared.
Right, and Lisa Trevor. We forgot to mention Lisa Trevor at all. So yeah, Lisa Trevor, guys, is in this movie as a helping force when she was definitely an enemy in the first game.
Definitely a helper.
Yeah, and she saves Leon and Claire from a liquor, which that liquor, and something about this movie I will give it credit for. is that a lot of stuff looks like it's like straight from the game.
No, that was dead. As we that's dead.
Yeah, that's like dead on. Like a lot of stuff from this movie looks like when RPD, the mansion, the liquor, the dogs,
The police department.
RPD.
Oh.
Yeah, but all of that looks like it was ripped straight from the game. Like those could have been assets. Like the CG assets from the game, they just slapped right into the movie. Good props on them. So it looked accurate. Although I don't know about you guys, but when they went into the mansion, the composition looked weird. Like the comping of it looked
really
weird.
small.
Yeah.
Do you ever think that, like, whenever they did, like, a wide shot of the town itself looked weird? Like,
Yes, it looked like a weird map overview of
Yeah.
it looked like a game map overview. It was so weird.
not just that, even, like, when they were, like, in the street view of the city, there were sometimes it was, like, I really thought that they just CGI'd the town.
No, that I can believe that because it was like more small town like. Because that's what small towns kind of look like. But every time they showed like the big wide of the whole thing, it looked weird. It looked really weird.
Town looked weird.
Yeah. At this point, Lisa Trevor saved Claire
Captain
and
Irons
Leon.
dies.
Captain Irons
Killed
gets
him.
murked by the liquor.
He was just skin, huh? At the end.
Yeah, he was just like a weird skin sack.
That looked good, though.
That looked good. That was a good practical. I think that was a practical effect, and if it was, it looked really good.
Yeah.
So then we get back to Wesker ran down the secret entrance, and then what's up?
We can honestly, since this is a small part, we can say she met up with Chris.
Yeah.
Jill, yeah, she met up with Chris.
Yeah.
She was like, we gotta go
Yeah,
follow Wesker.
Yeah. That happens, and then Wesker goes to the tunnel to lab wherever, and then we see Birkin again, who's disappeared for like this entire film essentially, and then we get G. Birkin, which I put in my notes. G. Birkin is accurate. He looked like that was a pretty good representation. Although, I mean, they had a like notable actor playing him, so of course they didn't like fully transform him yet, but then they do. We'll get to that. They do that, and it looked good. I thought it looked solid. And that's also the beginning of this video game boss battle. And from there, what do we got?
Lab scene, wife dies, Birkin.
Right.
Birkin dies. Chris and Jill comes to, grabs the daughter who's there also.
Cherry.
Jill shoots.
And then Wesker was like, told him about the train, right? Wait. Yeah, he told him about the train. So
Yeah, because Wesker's quote unquote dying at this point.
Because Jill comes in,
Shoots him.
shoots Wesker.
And what happened? Yeah, they go to find the train, and Chris can't. They find a little opening, and Chris can't get through, and that's when we see phase one
Of Birkin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I like.
That was creepy, honestly.
Yeah.
That was good. Phase 1 Birkin was good. Until, honestly, there wasn't until. He was good right until it ends.
Until it stops being phase 1 Birkin.
Yeah, so then that's when we get to the train.
Wait, we forgot to mention phase one Birkin was ended by Claire because
Claire showing up and shooting the piss out of him.
Claire and
Leon.
Leon, yeah.
And then you gotta put some respect on him. Even Leon himself is surprised that he managed to survive it.
Right?
Because as soon as Chris sees him, he's like, "Rookie."
Oh my
And
God.
Leon's like, "Yeah."
Oh my god, and then Leon.
Me too.
Look, I completely forgot this. That horrible moment where Leon's like, I bet you're wondering. She's talking to Claire, and he's like, I bet you're wondering why I'm a cop. And she's like, yeah, kinda. And he says, yeah, me too. What? What? What are you doing? This is character assassination.
Leon's literally just here for this movie. He
Like-
actually he doesn't shoot his gun
Effectively.
until
The informant
he
dies.
shoots it twice. Mm-hmm. He shoots it there,
And then
never again until the very end.
Yeah, he has this movie saving moment. Well,
Mm.
he doesn't save the movie, but he saves the character.
that's his redeeming moment. Yeah.
That's his redeeming moment, sorta. But then he immediately kills him with a terrible joke that we'll get to. So yeah, that all happened.
I like it a little bit.
No, it was bad. My first thought was, this is just like Resident Evil 2002. Because both of these third acts culminate in a train battle. I was waiting for Marilyn Manson's, seizure of power to come on. And I'm like, I was ready for that to come on. And then it doesn't, obviously, because that's not this movie. And I And then they're riding the train, everything seems fine. And then the nuke, and then they hit 6 a.m. And then the house just collapses in on itself, and
That also doesn't
Wait, didn't the
make
house
sense.
collapse before like the actual 6 a.m.?
it collapsed right at 6 a.m.
Okay.
So, or the nuke. So we don't actually know why the nukes are happening either. Now that I think about it,
Right, they just said this
Because-
town's destroyed.
the people Wesker was working with told him that they were going to nuke the town at 6. Who is they? We don't know. Is it Umbrella? Because in the games it was the government, but this all happens in like a few hours, not even 12, less.
I don't know.
So we don't know.
So yeah, the house just collapses in on itself, and then the nukes go off, and then when the nukes go off, they just show this like wide shot of these fields and the city in the background. There's this cow, and I just see in my notes I just put cow gets nuked.
Nah.
Because that cow, there's just a cow in the field, and then you just see, I'm like, they're not gonna do it, are they? I look at Matthew and I'm like, they're not gonna really do it, and then you see the cow just fly away.
Our main heroes survive.
Right.
Did they get attacked by
Birkin.
second phase Birkin? Was that before?
No,
or
it's after. It's because like the shockwave from the nuke hits the
Right.
train, and then they like sort of crash.
Right.
But like the crash is just like they skid to a stop.
Right.
Wait, no, because look, I'm pretty sure the house broke down. Because, like, remember at the end of the movie when the shockwave hit, it showed them at the end of the you know.
Yeah.
So with the house breaking down first, they second phase Birkin. Then after the fight ended,
Nukes.
yeah. Well, in the sequence, I'm pretty sure it happened like kind of like very fast and simultaneously. But like that's the sequence in the movie.
Yeah.
Then they
And from there, we get second phase Birkin, which I remember that was one of the things in the trailer. Because you see second phase Birkin, obviously you don't know it's that. I remember seeing that in the trailer and thinking, this looks like shit.
Yeah, it's bad.
It looked bad.
I enjoyed the design, but it as far as like fitting into the
What
it was
going
very
on?
gummy.
Yeah.
It looked like it didn't fit in the movie. Like it's supposed to be in like a 3D animation movie.
Instead of just immediately going for the kill shot, as you should but doesn't, just toys around for a little bit, and then what happens?
Leon walks from the cockpit of the front of the train
No, that's not what had me laughing. I'm just thinking about what's about to happen.
with a rocket launcher, and in an enclosed area just shoots Birkin. The train is not very wide. It's not very long. Claire literally fell out of his grasp like a second ago, so she's right in front of him. Chris is like a couple of feet behind Claire.
With possibly broken ribs
And Sherry is
somewhere.
probably actually behind Leon. Everybody in that train should be dead.
To be fair, wasn't it? Was the rocket even technically supposed? If we're getting in like really specific,
Technical.
it wasn't even really supposed to blow because it was too close.
No, that's an RPG that does that.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's
Because RPG has the detonate distance.
I was gonna say because like that was like.
Regardless, it explodes. Everybody survives, obviously.
Except for Birkin Phase 2.
Luckily, I guess.
I didn't like. My only issue that it was too quick.
Yeah.
Like,
But I mean, this movie, by the way, has like an extreme breakneck pace. Like they crammed 2 games into a 90-minute movie. Yeah. So then Leon cracks. So that's when Chris looks at Leon and says, "Really? A rocket launcher?" And what does Leon say?
I found it in first
I
class.
enjoyed it. I don't know. I choked a little bit.
I audibly went, "Oh!" in the theater because that was just a terrible joke. But yeah. And then the movie ends with
That's when the Nuke Hickson sequence and it's like, the cat, and it shows them just.
they just walk out of the tunnel.
We get a little screen, like a little animations, like city destroyed.
Right.
Civilians survived 0, but we know, of course. What is it, 5 people?
Yeah.
In total survived.
So yeah, that's what the movie ends. We have our protagonists walk into the tunnel. Cool guys, don't look at explosions. And then, after mid-credits scene, Wesker wakes up in a body bag. But then again, how did they get Wesker From how did they get Wesker's body from the house that fell inward into the ground?
And got nuked.
That also got nuked. Who knows? And who's there when he wakes up? Ada Wong. So
A lot of stuff.
And obviously, because they seem to have done, again, who knows, seems to have done something to him. He can't see when he wakes up. So she gives him his sunglasses. Because it's not Wesker if he doesn't have his sunglasses.
yeah. Yeah. So that's what happens. Oh wow. Resident Evil, welcome to Raccoon City. What an experience. Well, I think for our first movie review, we definitely kicked it off solidly. I gotta say, this was an interesting watch. So that's gonna do it for us. Tune in our usual 2 weeks from now when we do our end of year video. I still stand by it. The best characterization in this movie was the burger.
Bye!